Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. We are joined by someone who's not climbed not one, not two, but three of the world's most spectacular mountains. She's always on the move. It looks like there's no slowing her down. Please welcome fitness guru Nelly Attar.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you to learn a little bit more about your journey. But it's funny how we met like 2 days ago.
I know. It's amazing how we met. So we were lifting in Vogue CrossFit. It's a gym that I just joined. And Casey was kind enough to share her space and bar with me.
Well, we weren't really. I was standing by a bar, and I thought that you looked like you needed a bar.
I did need a bar.
And then you were like, I haven't lifted in so long. So I was like, assuming that you would just be kind of like, you know, like me, like using the plastic bar instead of an actual metal bar. No, you were just like piling on, like absolutely no problem, perfect form. And I was like, who is this girl?
Well, Casey did a great job. Casey actually did a great job.
Well, little did I know, I was speaking to someone who's completed many Ironmans, who has climbed Kilimanjaro, let's get into it. How did your fitness journey kind of to those spectacular feats, how did that start?
How did it start? So I think I've always loved moving. I've always been dancing. I've always been on the move since I was a kid. We didn't have that many sport activities in school, but whenever we did have a chance to get active, I would. I think I really embarked on my sports journey when after I graduated, actually. After I finished my undergraduate degree, moved to the UK, sports was a way for me to work on my anxiety, to channel stress, to channel anxiety. And I used to deal with panic attacks. So it really helped me combat anxiety, stress. And then it became a way of life for me, and it became part of my life. And over the years, after graduating from my master's, moving back to Saudi, I just started to immerse myself in more and more sports. And I started to venture into CrossFit, marathon training, half Ironmans and then climbing. So it just started to build from there, and it's just, I feel like it became my life. Like, if I'm not training, I'm thinking about training. I'm socializing with people through training, and I can't imagine life without moving now.
What was it like going back to Saudi and then starting on your kind of climbing and Ironman adventures? Like, is the landscape there quite easy for you to take part in all those pursuits?
The landscape has changed over the years. When I first moved back in 2013, there weren't that many female gyms, and female gyms were actually illegal. So it was really...
What? In 2013, female gyms were illegal in Saudi?
Yeah,
wow.
2013. And that's actually the reason why I shifted careers. So I moved to Saudi working in therapy and psychology, but sports was not very accessible for females. And I was a certified trainer. So then I thought on the side, I'm going to start teaching classes. And that's how actually my career in sports started. And the landscape started to change over the years. So in 2000, I believe, 17, female gym licensing was issued. And then that's when a lot of female gyms started to open up, and then you started to see women training outdoors. So it's evolving and it's growing. Mm-hmm. The landscape is growing. And yeah. And
at what point did you move into climbing? And please tell us a little bit about kind of the mountains that you've climbed, and let's say, for example, the climb that you're most proud of.
The climb I'm most proud of is Everest.
Amazing, by the way. Look. No big deal, amazing.
And actually Denali, Everest, because my dad was still around. He passed away 9 months ago.
Sorry.
So he was still around to see me climb. And Denali this year, because we didn't summit, but it was the climb that challenged me the most, that taught us the most. And every single day there was a new challenge on Denali, from storms to our guide having to be evacuated and getting injured to us running out of food. But every day we stuck through, and I felt like, wow, you don't know you have this much strength unless the only thing you have is strength. You have to tap into your strength. So Denali is one of the other climbs that I'm very proud of.
First of all, very sorry about your dad. I'm sure he was very proud of your whole fitness journey. What was, I guess, one of the most challenging experiences for you on the mountain?
Denali or Everest?
You tell me.
Everest, I think it was the cold. I could not deal with the cold. I'm really cold right now, actually.
Our office is freezing.
So Everest, I mean, we're on the mountain for 2 months, and what I really missed was the warmth. Every night I go into bed or my sleeping bag and I'm freezing. And I throw in all my layers just to stay warm, and I have layers in the sleeping bag and I tuck myself in. Still, it's super cold. So the cold was the hardest part for me on Everest. Denali, I think the uncertainty. Because we were climbing every day, facing so many storms, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if we're going to have a chance at the summit. So it really tested our patience every single day. But that I'm grateful for.
When you say we, how many of a team were climbing together?
On Denali, we were 4 climbers, and we started off with 3 guides, but then we ended up with 2 guides. So in total, we were 6. Everest, it was a whole expedition. So we were 11 climbers, and then we had our 3 main guides, our Sherpa team. So it was a massive expedition. I think a team of 20 or 30, roughly.
What is your mental trick when you don't know you're on a mountain, you have no idea what's coming next? Do you have a trick mentally that you tap into, or are you just that determined that you make it happen?
I just think life is short, and while I'm here, I want to do my best. I want to experience what I can experience, and I'm so privileged to be able to do these things and to take my body to these places. So no matter what happens, let me do my best. And there's a quote that my dad used to always say to me, which is, only those who risk going far can really find out how far they can go. So that's, sorry.
No, I love that.
Yeah, so that's something that always resonates with me. You don't know how far you can go, Nelly. Just keep trying. One step after the other. Do your best.
It's amazing. What is the process for preparation? So take any of us in the studio, if we wanted to do a base camp, or like what's how much preparation in terms of like workout, have a social life, how many hours a day do you put in versus how many should we be putting in if we want to do something that impressive?
It depends on the climb. It depends on the duration. So the training would be reflective of that. Something like Everest and Denali, I would train anywhere between 15 to 20 hours a week. And then there's all the preparations that go into it, from the gear to speaking to your guides, your team. The closer we get to the climb, you just like, I had tunnel vision. All I was thinking about was Denali prior to the climb. But if you're going on a track, for example, like Kilimanjaro or Everest Base Camp, of course you'd need to train, but it's something that's very manageable. So as long as you get in some endurance a week, you spend some time going uphill on, in the towers, that's like a great place to train, or hiking here in Ras Al Khaimah. If you spend some time every week training, it could be 3 times a week, along with some strength and getting used to a backpack, you'll be set, you'll be fine.
It's interesting, on your Instagram it says you move for a living, but before you came on the show I was kind of saying to the team some of the feats that you've accomplished, and right now more than ever a lot of us just need motivation, and like Shahir is talking about starting the gym, and I personally feel like it's very hard to actually like achieve the fitness goals that you want to achieve. So what keeps you moving? Like, how do you continue to move?
How do I continue to move? I think once you start, it's really hard to stop. Once you see how good it feels to move, how alive you feel, being in remote places on the world, climbing, challenging yourself, it's hard to stop. And I think, it was one climb that led me to another climb, and it's the same thing with racing. It's always hard, it's always challenging, and when you're doing it, a lot of times it feels miserable. But once you're done, that feeling is just undescribable. You get like moments of euphoria that are, I think, that you can't get doing anything else, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, there are times when I'm not motivated, but it just became part of my life. And it's like brushing your teeth. You wake up and you brush your teeth. You don't brush your teeth when you're motivated. You don't count on your motivation. You just do it.
You just do it. Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with training. Make it part of your lifestyle. Make time for it, and you feel so good. It feels really enriching to move. We're designed to move. Our bodies are designed to move.
Interesting. Feel motivated. I want to go onto that mountain and have my space. Tell us a little bit about Move Riyadh, because I know you're the founder of that, and we'd like to know a little bit more.
What would you like to know?
Tell us all about it for someone who's never heard of Move Riyadh.
So Move is Saudi's first dance studio. It's the first studio that focuses on dance. I founded Move in 2017. I was actually working as a life coach at the time, and I had some spare time and I was still teaching classes on the side. So my stepdad kindly offered me his warehouse. He had a warehouse in his offices that he wasn't using. And he was like, Nelly, instead of teaching classes everywhere, just focus on that space and teach classes for free, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to encourage people to move. So I started offering free boot camps from there, teaching Nike training classes. And then it just became this really buzzing space. Like, people were all talking about this underground, you know, hush-hush space that like women would come to after work and they would train from. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna actually use this opportunity to start teaching dance from there as well. One thing led to another, monetize the space. Some of my clients actually volunteered their time to help me turn this into a business. So it started to evolve, and then it became Move. And then 4 years later, we have a team of 11 trainers.
Wow.
We offer all kinds of dance classes. We offer hiking trips for females. And where we can, we try to encourage as many women and men to move.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Was it tricky in the last year? Obviously, everyone's business work was affected. How did Move survive?
It's been very challenging, of course, to say the least. We're still not operational from this space. We had to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we had to survive. I mean, that's how we were able to survive. We had to adapt. So as soon as the pandemic hit, we closed. We started to offer classes on Instagram, free Instagram classes, Zoom sessions, and a lot of our sessions were actually for charity. So if we charge for our classes, a lot of the proceeds would go to charity. And then we started to focus more on fitness again, because dance was really challenging on Zoom. And we've been running fitness programs every single month, and we've been encouraging people to hike out, to get outdoors to hike, because that's a safe way to stay active in groups. So that's what our focus has been on, and we've been doing the periodic dance classes and private dance classes. That's how we've adapted, and we'll see what's going to happen in the next few weeks and few months.
It's amazing. As Saudi adapted and kind of allowed more gyms to open up, it seems like you were there at that very moment, ready and waiting. It seems like it was just kind of destiny that you were there to start all those classes. So amazing.
Yes.
If anyone wants to get in touch with you, if they want to reach out, if they're interested, how can they do that?
Please reach out to me on Instagram, on my account, on Move's account. You can reach out to me by email as well. I'm happy to answer any questions and to support you guys to move. Yes.
And right before the interview, Nelly sat down and she was like, Shahir has now said that he's going to start the gym. And I go to the, 200 meters away? We go to
210 meters,
so now Shahir is going to be coming. So look forward to see you there.
Yes, guys. Please hold them accountable, okay? Shahir is moving, starting tomorrow.
Nelly, that's a very inspiring story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. And I just want to say, for all those that are tuning in from Lebanon or those that are Lebanese, my heart is with you. I really wish you strength and courage. I wish us all strength and courage to go through today, and I really pray for better days for Lebanon, and I hope that justice will be served.
Well said.
Thank you.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. Stay safe and wash your hands.
Thank you. Thank you.